Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be continuing chapter 13. It will be episode 5 for today. Let's go ahead and do this. So, where we last left off, it was kind of mostly auxiliary plotlines happening again. It always takes me forever to find the right story node. But yeah, we're gonna do Infinite Loop Part 1. Let us do this. So, yeah, where we last left off, what even happened in the last one? It was kind of ambiguous. Yoshito decided to attack the gurus, I believe, and their shelter place, and it seems Alice and Jamavan had been defeated in some way, and Sonic Kumara may have been responsible for that, in addition to possibly also eliminating the energy, but we'll just have to see that today. We also had some new revelations about the depths that the main character, as well as his friends, find themselves in. Seems to be some sort of forgotten, deposited version of Tokyo. Wait, I didn't see that silhouette. Who was that? Oh, it's Kotaro. Okay. Anyway. Alright. This should be the place. Sure was exhausting getting here, though. Enemy troops in every nook and cranny. Archninjo and all your hiding places are already occupied. Lucifuge prepaid me quite a lot for this mission, but still. I never expected I'd be kept on my toes quite this much. This is Kotaro of the Wind, relevant yet again, out of the Fuma Ninja tribe, who is presently operating out of Tokyo. He is the successor to the name and memories of Kotaro, passed down uninterrupted from the very founding of the clan, and the singular unifier of all transient ninja in the city. And he has been hired by the Roppongi tycoons to investigate the invaders, whose motives yet remain unclear. I've got my duties from my time in Asakusa Guild, though, plus the contract renewal with the Roppongi Guild. That wasn't Asakusa, that was Akasaka. Damn it. Still, the invaders don't have to go this hard. Makes me feel like I've got both legs stuck in mush and can barely move forward. Yo, Zeno, welcome. The Akasaka Guild disbanded. I really should have just written off my dealings with them, like a sensible person. The Akasaka Guild were the agents disbanded? I think that was a plotline, but I honestly can't remember if they were why they were disbanded. Ew, happy welcome. Indeed, by this point, the Akasaka agents have completely vanished without a single trace. Hey, oddly rebel. At least by the name agents. In actuality, they're continuing their activities, but in a different form. This meeting spot, for example, is one of their portals. Hard to walk away from a payout this big, though. I have to wonder if Lucifuge's purse strings have ever been tied at all. Taking out plenty of working capital from Roppongi too, and I suppose my apprentices have got to eat. In un-ninja-like fashion, Kotaro allows his misgivings to show on his face, if anyone were to be looking anyway. Plus, I've got this name, and these memories, and these links with the past that I need to honor and carry forward, But, like all debts and contracts, I'm just a student for crying out loud. I don't know about that kind of stuff. I can't help but wonder where the other Akasaka agents are now and what they're doing. I mean, aside from you, Sandayu Mochi, Ose, Miniaki, the kid we're meeting today. Everybody just does whatever they want, huh? Is he talking about Sphinx? Because, like, I don't know any other agents besides Sphinx. I'm pretty sure he listed all of them, and I think he might be part of the agents, based on his research profile. Wish I could live like you, little bird, with no worries and fly free away whenever I wanted. But no matter how much I earn, it all just winds up as interest in my debts, time after time. It's hard being the boss, you know. You're really much more middle management, I'd say. And you don't change it too much, do you, Qatar of the Wind? Oh, it's Tadatomo. Tadatomo, Kotaro's client and a Sunrise ninja who established an alliance with the Tycoons, appears from the shadows. No need to call me out on it. You could at least humor me, you know. It's been a lot of trouble preparing for this secret mission with our informant, after all. Secret meeting. Informant, huh? An agent with some intel on the representative from the world of the Great Spirit. At the summit of the world of the Great Spirit stands Wakantanka, a transient whose rule sees him become one with all creation. The flowers, insects, and beasts, the snow and the sky. He is more than just a world representative, but a force of nature who dwells within each and every part of it. And he infiltrates all of existence without thought or effort. There's no sense of him, and no hostility or discomfort. He's just there. And it's recently come to light that he is also one of the 7 executives associated with the Invaders, making him among the elite within the 3 true guilds. We still don't know much about the other world, Vortex Tangaroa. At least we got a lead on Wakantanka. So, how about showing some gratitude to me for getting in touch with someone who knew him back in his homeland? You know someone from Wakantanka's homeland? Never mind that he happens to be an old colleague of mine, saving me a lot of trouble. It's still an achievement, I say. An old colleague? From the Akasaka Guild, then I presume. I am unfamiliar with him. What manner of agent was he? What, you never met him before? Tadatomo, I'm surprised. Your social network is about lacking, it seems. He's a bit of a phantom, so skilled at covert ops that the rest of the Fumas could have learned a thing or two from him. It's snowing. Oh wow, Bigfoot debuts this early, huh? He's not part of the agents, is he? That'd be surprising. I have no idea how he sounds. Kotaro, sorry to keep waiting. Long time no see, Bigfoot. Bigfoot? See, self-repeat themselves, Bigfoot. Bigfoot, happy. My, how long have you been there? Speak of the devil, Tadatomo, this is our informant. I guess he is part of both the agents and the, what's it called? The invaders? I must say, I had no sense of your presence whatsoever. It's as though you emerged from the very fabric of existence. Wait. Finally realized, did you? Bigfoot here is. Yes, Bigfoot, shaman of Wakantanka. Reserve in case something happens. He's a reserve. So kind of like Shinya. So it's not just the thing that Shinya uniquely has, but it's a common thing. And I suppose that makes sense if the world representatives aren't chosen by the game masters themselves, but rather are chosen by the worlds participating. Then they would want to have reserves lined up in case their main guy gets offed. A reserve representative? Fascinating. If conditions are met, Bigfoot can use some of his power. He's a top-tier agent tasked with secret jobs for the Akasaka Guild, which is his superb stealth sees him fulfill with aplomb. That said, it has been some time, Bigfoot. I see you've still got that distinctive speech pattern since the breakup of the guild. Shall we get straight to business, though? I seek information on Wakantanka. Seeing as he's a major player in the Invaders, and the Invaders are rather the talk of the town right now, as it were. Oh no, he skipped one. I want to know anything you can tell me about the man whose rule lets him supersede his own boundaries to become one with all. What are his goals? What are his motives? Really, what even is he? I will, of course, pay you handsomely for this information. Just name your price. My client has the deepest of pockets. Out of all the agents, who is the most agent-like? Well, besides the straight-up ninjas, most of them are actually ninjas, so I don't really know. I guess it's the ones who are not ninjas, since they'd be the ones you least expect to be agents. Whoa, this place is weird. If you stop focusing on it, it gets all hazy. It's like I'm melting or sinking into a nice, hot bath. You're being steadily drawn into the undersea cable network that serves as the core of this ever-accelerating information age. Humans are already changing and evolving, but where we're going, the speed of that evolution is considerably more intense. Since humans have a tendency to lose themselves when exposed to extreme data input, I would suggest you continuously, consciously ask yourself, what am I? This may be the only way to preserve your self-identity. You're Spelunky? I didn't even know Spelunky was an agent. Sneaking out from the shadows from a non-event into existence. Oh, you know, OC can take on many forms, I believe, not just his child form. You must come to terms with your own identity, your own existence, and ensure you have that answer firmly in mind. Huh, thanks for the tip, Turin. Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. I've got some Mr. Candy on me if you want any. Oh, is it okay to call you Turing instead of like Mr. Turing or something? Hey, let's not get too chummy with the enemy. Can I have some candy too? Gimme. I'm surprised at your magnanimity. You are a gentleman of good humor, it would seem. If nothing else, I commend you for not labeling that which you don't understand as your enemy, as you are taught by Tsukiyomi. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I am Turing, Guildmaster of the Akihabara Creators. You may think of me as a watcher, observing this game you all play from a mathematician's point of view. There are the players, or representatives, who participate in gameplay, and there's you, the prizes awarded at the end. And then there are those in charge who are always watching the movements of all pieces on the board. We aim to see what has changed throughout the course of this game, and what has not. In some ways, it's but selfish mathematical curiosity. I merely wish to know what effects revolutions like this bring about. And Harry's supposed to believe you. That's supposed to make us feel better. Yes. I suppose that's not the sort of information those in your position can simply digest and move on from. But I am not without magnanimity of my own. I'm happy to compensate you with information I believe you'll appreciate. Truthfully, I should refrain from granting foreknowledge to the targets of my observation, but I suppose the ship has sailed. Information we'll appreciate? What kind of information? If I'm not mistaken, you seek to put an end to this never-ending game in Tokyo, no? Specifically, to uncover the conditions by which this infinite loop can be broken. Is that more or less your goal here? Nail on the head, yeah. But what do you mean by infinite loop? Infinite loop? Not infinite loops, but infinite loop. You don't know about infinite loops? They're part of computer programming, I think. I seem to remember learning about them in Comp Sci class. Oh, how modern for a school. Allow me to fill in any gaps in your knowledge. Consider it a free service. This game, you see, this state of constant fighting within Tokyo, linked as it is with 23 other worlds, extends ahead of you like an endless marsh. And your path at what would likely be viewed as, from your perspective, a series of tragic events. However, you are not permitted to avoid them. You cannot turn left or right, but instead must trudge ever forward through them at all. I wonder how the game was created in the first place in Vacuum. That's a very big question. We have pretty much zero hints on that. Maybe something related to the game masters, but that's a presumption that the administrators are the same thing as the creators. This is because you are not the players in this game. The rules are not written for your engagement. Oh, he meant Ishblanki as I didn't know he was a reserve representative either. What the heck? Okay. Rules are not written for your fish room. Even some of us observers find ourselves unable to tolerate constantly recurring loops and have dropped out. Among them are those who've come in contact with you many, many times. But their absence does not portend the game's end. Rather, there are substitutes who will take their place in subsequent loops. That is a rule of break in order to acquire the sacred artifacts of fallen participants. In which case, are they implying there's always going to be a reserve representative? So it's not just the one-off thing with Shinya. In this case, what they're saying is if this game loops, then someone else would take the place of Babylon and Searcher and Tezcatlipoca and what's this called? Smoky God and Fushi and one other from the Warmongers. I'm forgetting. Yeah, for El Dorado, I see. Shiva, that's it. Parts and information needed for such substitutions are steadily being gathered even now, as I understand it. So we observers may just be swapped out for spares as the loops go on. So there are spares for the observers too. Though you in the next loop may not even remember those of us who've been abandoned this way at all. So as even the three true geniuses are replaceable, Dua is literally designed from the beginning to replace one of them in case that fails. And in fact, he's acting as a replacement for Bertra right now for the Warmongers as a guildmaster. Perhaps, as long as someone can get the secret artifact, they can make a reservation. Yeah, it seems like their greatest asset is their memories, and someone needs to hold on to those memories. So they're implying that if someone leaves the game, they're just replaced. Yeah, that's what it seems to be. So these dropouts, they're not. It's not surprising that there are dropouts. Rather, it's more surprising that they're happening so fast. But the idea is they'll be replaced if it does loop again, which is not in our main intention for the main quest. It's for this myriad of reasons that it is in your best interests to ensure the loop stops here. That about sums up putting all of your motivations thus far. Would you say that my conclusions are accurate? Perhaps not. Maintaining a stone face, I see. As a debate partner, you are as formidable as you are engaging. Now then, I will stay right by your side if you'll let me, and observe whatever may come. In exchange for this service, I would like you to accept but one further insight from me into this infinite loop. All discourse operates on the premise of give and take, after all, and I will secure that which I require. I had no idea Turing would be this stone cold and calculating, given his introduction from new semester. For starters, have you worked out why it is that the infinite loop is occurring in the first place? So as I discussed this earlier when I was playing the dungeon stories, it doesn't necessarily seem the loops recur with our death, but that is at least one condition of it, with the death of the trophy, the loss of the trophy. If we're looking at the objective of the game, it would be to obtain the trophy before any other world. And in order, obtaining is one thing, but making sure no one else can obtain it. The thing is, though, that if the trophy itself is destroyed, then that would lead to the end. As was the case for Kengo's dungeon story, as well as Shiro's dungeon story with Astaroth and Odin, I believe. In Ryota's, that was different, though. We never actually died in the end. It was Ryota who died. But the world itself had come to some sort of a state of complete distrust from the invaders' early experiments in that loop. So, yeah. And, so in that case, it seems like if the world itself can no longer hold the game. I'm not entirely sure why it decided to loop with Ryota, but there's something going on there with the world. And we learned in Nightglows, another condition for the game looping is for all of the participants of the game to be defeated. Or at least that's what was implied, since every other representative was just written out of the game from the beginning, with Nodens kind of heavily biasing it towards the old one's favors. And with the defeat of Nodens, who was presumably, even though he never said it, taking the role of representative old ones, the loop had reset at that point. Not with Aradas, but with Nodens' defeat, I believe. So if nobody wants the game to continue, the game ends. That might have been one of the conditions, yeah, something like that. Anything that could normally cause, the belief system to be upturned to force the loop itself, that would be another condition, I guess. I guess we never really died. Well, we specifically didn't die in Azathoth's loop. It was more like everything and anything. Everyone wanted the world to end, so a loop happened. I guess that is a bit like Ryota's too, then. I forget the exact details, but it's more of a world effect rather than specifically ours. Anyway, there's speculations on my part just to see how it stands up to what Turing's about to say, so let's see it. Isn't it just because the game keeps getting to a point where none of the players can win it? Good speculation. Before anyone has a chance to, something disastrous keeps happening, forcing the whole thing to be restarted from scratch. That was true for Azathoth's loop as well as for, what's called, Israfel's loop / Ryota's. But in reality, it was actually, in Kingo's loop, it wasn't some world disaster. I mean, presumably that flood would affect everyone, but it looped really with our death specifically. I see. That's a very rational analysis. And indeed, from the perspective of the players, that is what seems to be occurring. Next, let's shift gears a bit with a wholly different questions, with a wholly different point of view. You know, I was a bit shocked by Turing's depiction here, but on second thought, I'm starting to like it a lot more, because it does fit the character of the real-life Turing. Not that I know his personality or anything, but to be very computational and focused on analysis and all that. Like, homosexual or not, they were a genius at their craft of computation. Specifically, what quality do you think you possess that disqualifies you from participation in this infinite loop? And as a corollary, do you personally even believe that an infinite loop is occurring in the first place? Okay, let's answer our questions directly first. What quality do you think we possess that disqualifies us? So as I was mentioning earlier, I do believe the world representatives might be doing something like be selected from their world itself to win for their mythology, their other world system. However, for us specifically, from our world system, we were rejected and exiled, at least our souls were, and as a result, we can't necessarily, be the ones that vouch for each individual world. And because of that, we can't be a player representing any world simply because we already exiled from each of those worlds and, going against the system. I believe the exile is a role, per se, in each world, is that they are going against the system itself, and so they've been excised from that. And as a corollary, do you personally even believe that an infinite loop is occurring in the first place? Well, right now, we're kind of just believing in, the power of friendship in our hearts that this will be the final loop. But, in reality, we still don't really know enough about the game to say for sure if the loop is preordained or not, whether or not we die or the world wants to reset or anything. It's just an assumption, that something can change. So, let's try and answer this. It seems pretty obvious that it is. I've even seen echoes of previous loops. Or, have I? You've seen a number of memories from past loops indeed, and heretofore lying dormant far beneath the gates. Oh, okay, are we getting a more proper dungeon explanation to summarize what the main takeaway from all this is? Among them, You've seen many past versions of yourselves, just like this. Whoa! What's going on? This is like what happened in the dungeon. Harrison, there are multiples of you. You're saying these are all versions of him from previous loops, right? Let's just say, though you stand before me now, all of these figures are also you, Harrison. Which brings me to my next question. Where does the concept of you start, and where does it end? What defines you? Can you truly consider actions to be your own if you don't even remember taking them? This is again philosophical, but in a sense, that's a saying, right? Are you really you if you don't have your own memories? The issue of culpability arises for if you commit a crime and then you have mass amnesia and you forget everything about the crime, including your motivations. The justice system would still enforce it as you, the individual, with the physical being shared, but some laws would say that would not be the correct approach because a culpability is in mind and not in the body. In the same fashion here, it seems we're asking if they're really us in these other loops. And I'd say they were us before the branching point, but after then, they have a different branch entirely. It's related to different paradoxes like the time travel paradoxes or the teleporter paradox, things like that. Men died from poisoning, and they gave him poison weakening. Poison weakening isn't even that bad for Turing. Let's take, for example, a famous thought experiment, that of the Swamp Man. So famous, I've never heard of it. Very intriguing, LifeWonders. I'm very glad they're directly answering a lot of these broader the game questions in the beginning, rather than near the end. Some amount of closure. It's kind of funny how the plot point from the last episode, or the last chapter that was revealed about how we were, the value of the trophy has capsized, has kind of been brushed off. We saw it briefly, it was Corporate Kurt trying to kill us, but even then it's just like... Never mind that for now. Never mind that we can create our own character. Although maybe Turing will talk about it in a second, since he is talking about how he might want to question if this loop really is infinitely occurring. Oh, a battle. Lightning hits a moss and turns into clone. I've never heard of that, honestly. Infinite Loop Part 2, it's a level 68 battle in a wide map featuring Perun, Falsislav, and some of the invaders. I forgot what they're called, the camouflage, that's it. It might be one phase, it might be two phases. Let's try to build for one phase then. And if it doesn't work out, then we're screwed. So I want better supports than this, but unfortunately I'm kind of locked into bringing supports that have the, what's called, the Guildmaster AR, because I want to maximize my, my resources. So we'll go ahead and bring Riku here. Don't show, please. And we'll switch teams to, maybe this team is fine. No, it's not. We'll go over this one. Can give us attacker potentially. Anyone else can buff on board? Can't even remember. I don't have any, really. Apparently, we got a few new board buffers from the Skull students we got. So it should be interesting to see if they become relevant. Kirito now has Dazzle advantage 3 times. Or rather, he inflicts Dazzling Weakening, where all the enemies take 3 times damage to all enemies, as well as Dazzle on all enemies on appearance, or on face start rather. So that's pretty cool. And Wakan kind of has a similar thing. Oh yeah, Wakan got an Evo. That could help actually. That would actually be my only board-wide buffer then. That would be really sad. It's not guaranteed though. And it'll also require another 5-star thing. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Okay, let's just keep on bringing some water /fire 3-star support. Man, 3 stars are just hard to pick from. Maybe I'll pick I don't know. Let's pick Goemon. Not that it does. I don't know. I'm picking Goemon. Whatever. Let's just do this. Hopefully we don't get interrupted, since it seems there's a battle happening. Then again, last time we had a battle that was not even involving the protagonist, so maybe that's who Volvin Perrin is facing right now. Most possibly Shinya, and not even anyone else, honestly, because Kaki and Terramite got wrecked. And again, it's peculiar that we didn't see Temujin in the enemy preview. I really like using this sprite to mean just some generic important character that will never show up as a proper Housamo. In the Echo story, this was supposed to be Narcissus, but could be anyone. Long ago, a certain man set off a certain day to hike in a certain mountain wherein a vast swamp could be found. We're in this in a British accent. But the man was unlucky and happened to be struck by lightning that day. He lost his life and sank to the bottom of the swamp. Yet at that very moment, another bolt of lightning came down just nearby, striking the swamp itself and triggering a very unlikely, very miraculous chemical reaction. It created, from the swamp itself, an exact double of the man, with his exact molecular structure. This double was precisely the same man as who'd come before in every detail, up to the very moment of his demise. This included his brain, of course, which means his personality and behavior were indistinguishable from those of the original. Is this the predecessor to the teleporter paradox? And so the swamp man descended from his mountain hike as if nothing had happened, and his life continued uninterrupted. He saw his family, his friends, his lover, and lived his life normally, unremarkably, one might say. He recalled all the same promises the original man had made and the same debts of the original man had accrued, with no deviation. In every regard, he was succeeded the very life the original man had lost. That sounds creepy, like something from a horror movie. This is a hypothetical situation that has been discussed at length over years, and has spawned a number of philosophical musings. For example, if the original man were to return from the swamp alive and meet his double, which of them would be the real him? Or to put it another way, how could either of them prove that they're the real him and the other is not? Could they at all? This is a reflection of the question of continuity with identity, because, well, you know, if identity continues in the mind, then, and you can reconstruct the mind anywhere else, such as through a lightning strike, then would that mean that identity has persisted somewhere else physically, even as long as that mind persists in that exact structure? And if we elaborate on that, you know, the mind itself can be reproduced multiple times physically to have that same mental state. So who would be the real the original by that point, if there's multiple versions, including the original, and what would happen if, the original was put away for some time. That's the question of the teleporter paradox, because in a teleporter, the idea is you're actually supposedly disintegrating your original self, and recreating yourself in some other point with the exact same molecular structure and energy and momentums of every single particle. So that would just essentially reproduce your identity somewhere far away. However, what's it called? What if you remove the disintegration part entirely? Because the disintegration part is kind of just like ending something, even though it continues something else mentally. It's bizarre if you think about it, but that part of disintegrating something is not technically necessary. And if that's the case, then the teleporter would simply just become a cloning machine. This always sounded so funny to me. Which part? What are you trying to say? How does that relate to me? One last question. On what basis do you consider yourself the real you? And if you regard all the past yous as part of the real you, are you prepared to take responsibility for everything they've done? Ugh. Are you prepared to keep all the promises you don't remember making? To pay all the debts you don't remember accruing? Oh, wow, that's just... that's a tough question. Oh, wait, Turing? That's different. Isn't it? I mean, everyone else has lost their memories too. It's not like Arthur is the only one. You make a good point. You, I, and everyone else who draws a breath upon this land are perhaps but fellow swampmen. The difference is, here in Tokyo, we all have family, friends, and lovers. Guardians who are themselves swampmen, just like us. So you're saying we're all swampmen? That's right. Every world representative, the guildmaster of the three true guilds, and even your observer Kiyoma Mononobe. The defeated. They've been watching you since the very beginning. How do you think they see you? After all, with each new loop, you restart from nothing. You've forgotten everything that came before. You've forgotten your whispered confessions of love, the sins you've committed, and the debts you owe alike. It's as if all that was the work of someone else altogether. So how then can you perceive it as an infinite loop? If each you from each of the different past loops is a different person, then you can't very well say it's the same loop, can you? Well, no one was ever saying that. Each loop did go on differently. You're not a player in this game, and therefore, you can never fully grasp its true nature. You have never seen your past playing out before your eyes like a movie, but are you capable of acknowledging it as a part of you? But do you accept not what you did, but what you would have done had circumstances be different as a part of you? That's also an interesting question. Normally you wouldn't, but some people would say that your identity isn't tied to what you've necessarily done, but rather your intentions and, how you would branch out your decisions. The Swan Man always sounds so stupid to me. Oh, I see. Well, it's it might be the predecessor to all the examples, so it might sound silly, but in very least, it doesn't require justification of some sort of science technology like a teleporter. So I can see that sort of thought experiment existing way back when, although I don't know its exact history, so that's just speculation. Can you internalize every single thing that's happened to you and accept it all as a part of your identity? Oh, my body has gone limp. So much information flowing into me. So everyone in Tokyo is basically an NPC except the ones who can recall past loops. I don't know. The thing is, some people only have selective memories too of the past loops, such as with Searcher. They only have specific memories of tragedy and all of that, and even then, I don't know. There's also some people who willingly abstain from remembering, like Michael. But that said, things proceed differently, so just because you constantly forget every day doesn't mean you're an NPC. There's like that one movie where, you know, the guy tries to win that girl every day because they have like some sort of terminal form of amnesia where they just forget everything that has happened every 24 hours.
Arthur, you're melting!
It is not his body that's melting, but rather his consciousness. The ego is faltering, merging with all other life. I do believe I warned you earlier that you must maintain a firm grip on your self-awareness here, no? Firmly grasp it. In the wise words of Patrick.
Bigfoot, understand. I give information. Take payment. I come here, request payment from Kotaro, Tantoma. Just what payment do you seek, Bigfoot? I won't know if it's something we can give you or not unless you specify.
Wait, I sent this present nearby. Ha! Are we turning into soup? Like mental soup, most likely.
Who goes there?
I'm impressed the likes of you could dodge my attack. Are you the stooges sent by the summoners? Curses! We're surrounded. How? What business have you here?
Have you been sold out by Bigfoot? Is this his idea of a fair play? No, these are affiliates of Akantanka. I should have seen this coming. Can't believe I was so careless.
I must say, it never gets old watching the non-player characters squirm. Sadly, I don't have time to deal with you now, so to make this short and simple, I'll let you in on a little secret. Your precious trophy is already as good as ours, and there's nothing you can do about it. What? You have everything?
Wow, we are quite severely outnumbered. Even using stealths?
It's like, you know, the two of us could break through this. Sakurai stabbed Jana.
History shows that the side with the most adherents is generally the most righteous, and most likely to emerge victorious. And you, as defeated, shall be ground to dust by my hand. You should feel honored, though, to go down as my conquests.
Well, guess it's time to pay the piper, huh? Sure not gonna be paying off any ninja debts through a hopeless fight like this.
Yeah!
Wait! What are you doing?
Oh, there are just too many of me? Or wait, they seem to be. It's like an ant-hole in a dam. Too much stress and the whole structure collapses from there. When the human brain is inundated with information and reaches its limit, the sense of self begins to crumble. The child prodigy is revolutionary in his thinking. Everything has gone precisely as he thought it would.
Damn! I won't let you.
There we are. A proper ninja must always be mindful of his circumstances. Let's not forget that, Tamtamo.
That was your smoke bomb, Kotaro of the Wind. I owe you my thanks.
You best save them, as it's only a matter of time before they catch up with us. Why in the world would you rush in like that?
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I?
Because realistically, that was, and still is, a lost cause. We're outmatched in every way. Not only are we outnumbered, but they have a speed in information warfare as well. And if you should fall into their hands... what I'm trying to say is, you should remain calm and accept the reality of whatever situations come your way. That's what being a ninja is all about.
That's absurd. You're speaking nonsense. I think it's time I taught you what my idea of being a ninja is. My lord is already in enemy hands, so I cannot very well hold back. I must show my loyalty with everything I am. I'll fight to the bitter end, like my father did. As a member of the Southerners, I'll surmount whatever obstacles I must, or die trying. So what if my words are more like those of a samurai instead of a ninja? Perhaps it's been my wish to live and die like a samurai all along.
You know, Tadatomo.
What?
You remember when you first met me, back in the Akasaki Agents?
I'm something of a ninja myself. It's more like I'm something of a samurai myself, which will explain why he gets some limited variant.
Tadatomo Dosatsu Inuyama. So long as I am paid in full, I shall accept any task I am given. My goal is vengeance, and to that end, I require far fatter coffers than are currently at my disposal.
Back then, I saw you as this mysterious, intelligent, cool ninja type. But as we worked together, something always seemed a bit off to me. I suspect it's because I've always been so terribly in debt, but you seemed quite cavalier about learning money as you claimed. Cavalier? Cavalier. But now I understand. When we first met, you were putting on airs, weren't you? In actuality, you don't put that much thought into, anything, do you? You're just a wild dog and loose. Just a child acting tough for the glory of it, as it were.
Hey! I'll not hear such slander from... Ah! Look out! Beyond you!
I've been looking out all along. That was the Fuma Ninja Tribe's substitution technique. In a world with as many twists and turns as ours, you never know when something so simple may save the day, do you?
So you continue to clutch at straws, do you? History will not see you through this day. You may as well face reality, whelp.
Sorry to say, the only thing that's real in my world is the ever-approaching deadline of on my debts. But I suppose this is real enough to give me pause, at least. So I suggest we beat a hasty retreat, Tadatomo. We'll push onward, I swear I will. Just after we're safe. Alright?
Fools! You should fall before the tide of history. Unleash the vanguard! Fulf! As you command, Lord Perrin, my emperor. Witless children, you shall become part of the werewolf czar. I don't like it, Qatar of the Wind, but I will do as you say. Let us break through this barrier.
Bigfoot's just like, ah, without saying anything about what just happened. He doesn't want to say if he betrayed them or not. Turns out he did, but if they lose, he's like, oh no, that wasn't me. That must have been Wakandaka. Survive? Fuck. Okay, if we're surviving, we don't need to heal right away. But we should try to push these guys back. It did not tell me to survive in the beginning, did it? Or was I just not paying attention to the objectives? Okay. We're gonna do this. No matter what, he's gonna be hit by... Well, someone has to be hit in front. So there's no reason for me to keep him in the left. I'm gonna move him in front so that he can start healing him. Because Fushi has mad healing, even if his defense is questionable. Oh no! How are we gonna do this? I believe he only heals adjacently, so we'll go ahead and move Guamon onto the front. Get him out of the way from hurting anyone. Reduce their charge while they're at it, since it can do a bit of a... What? What was that? The lead still coming in clutch with whatever he's giving right now. I believe he can do some massive healing, but not if he moves. I mean, he's right at 1 HP. That doesn't matter. He's not going to heal as much as he is from attacking, since I haven't had a high secret effect. So we're going to move Lucky Cat for Blessing. Maybe it'll help a bit. Go Lucky Cat! I believe in you. You did carry last time, somehow. Do that insane. It's because I got too many dupes of him. Oh no, he's dead! Go ahead and distribute those buffs for me, why don't you? Anyone else near charge? Not really, so I'm gonna go ahead and... What's it called? Move him like this. No. Like this. There you go. Reduce their CP a bit. All those non-Jurangs I got. But, you know, he heals crazy times, so... Even though it didn't amount to anything, he just died right after. Oh, that was close. Getting an okay amount of coin here too. Oh, no after battle. Okay. Yeah, we got this, even though I didn't read the objective and I wasn't prepared for survival. But it's fine, because preparing for teams is 90% of the battle, but if you know how to play the game of it, then you might be able to survive surprises like that. Alright, Infinite Loop Part 3, let's do this. No battle. You just did this one before the stream. You just used Christmas Bell Scene and called it a day. Why are you using Christmas Bell Scene? She's not exactly the greatest unit. I vaguely remember someone saying that she's a carry, or they were using her. Was it you? It was like, she doesn't do much. What is it even? Like, she might still have a ruler ability, very low rate weakness on base start of all things, and obstruct maybe, and something like a weird range for weakness, and I don't know. It's not much. Sad thing is, she was the only one of the Christmas batch from Ikebukuro Christmas that did not get an Evo, even though she's the one who needed it the most. Even Pollock's low range unit had a better kit than her. Oh no! Not what's called this fucking song. With the record scratch. What? Fast shooter. Hakudi! Kunioshi! Hurry up! The shelter is this way. Huh? Oh hey, they're still relevant. Nice to see. They're not completely forgotten. Yeah.
Bus! Look out!
Classic Housamo music. You know, they're trying to give the feel of a generic battle, but with nothing of importance happening when they use this music. It's not to be taken seriously, that's what it means.
You three cuties, okay? That was a close one.
Who are you? And more to the point, why do you look like an orange version of a Kia? Where did you come from?
Never mind that right now. We gotta make sure everybody gets to shelter, like, pronto. There we go.
Should be safe enough here.
Thanks for saving us back there.
Hey, you're the ones being brave under scary circumstances. I just wish I could put you up in a hotel instead of here. Still, got some more pain in the ass touch stuff to take care of, so you cuties all wait here till I'm back, okay?
Going by your outfit, are you a firefighter from the Akihabara Fire Department by any chance?
Oh, wait, could it be?
Are you the senior Akiya Gongen's always talking about?
Huh? You mean the legend himself? There's no way!
Can it be? Has Akiya been blabbering about me? It's tough being beloved sometimes, you know? Yes, I am.
The senior firefighter was zero enthusiasm, zero motivation, and basically no skill at anything other than slacking off, right?
The lazy senior who only cares about Akihabara's nightlife and always looks down his nose at every bells, right?
Is that what Akiya's saying about me at school? Next time I see him, I'll have to give that boy a talking to.
Is Akiya Gongen okay? We're friends of his and have been a little worried. He's a fruit and a lacquer. Yeah, even his voice, I was trying to get the hang of it to understand what he's like, and to me, he just sounds like non-nasally gangly. So I'm trying to go for that. We haven't seen him for quite some time now, and with this whole uproar, it's hard not to be concerned.
It'll be fine. You just sit tight here and wait for his return, okay?
Is there anything we can do to help by any chance?
Nope, just sit that keister down and stay put. It's the disaster zone outside right now, so you're better off indoors. Leave this matter to the pros. And maybe known as a slacker, but at times like this, I'm all action.
Hecate, why destroy him like that? He was just recounting what Akiya said.
But there are so many friends of ours out there somewhere. They're all probably having a really tough time.
And it's not just Akiya Gongen we can't get a hold of, but Lian and Shi, and Aerthin, and so many others.
Kid, I have no idea who those kids are, so maybe you should slow down. Well, you know Aerthin too, do you?
Oh, he knows him.
Wait, do you know him too?
Are you friends with him then?
If so, then please, you have to.
No, I'm not friends with him.
You aren't?
But it also doesn't matter, whether it's a friend or a hated enemy. I'll rescue anyone in need of a hand. Job. If I have to leap into the heart of a flame to do it, that's fire right away.
Oh, wow. May I ask your name, please? Akiya Gongen never really said.
I haven't earned the privilege of making my name known just yet, really. Or rather, I don't want to after hearing all the slander about me.
Jeez, people call me Guy Fieri or Johnny Test. Someone even relating me to that character from that one robot on me. But I don't think I can refuse those begging eyes of yours either, so...
Okay. It's Ulambader. You can call me Crimson here if you prefer.
Crimson Hero? When you're on the clock, you just sit around doing nothing. Maybe the name Slackmaster would suit you better. This is supposed to be a dispatch training, you know. You can at least try to look like you're teaching me something. If worst comes to worst here in Akihabara, you think you're going to be prepared to jump into action? Because I want to be. When I graduate from Akihabara Academy, I'll be joining your ranks.
And you don't want me showing you up now, do ya? A friend of mine is gonna be sitting in on today's training. Ah, and speak of the devil. You know Hecate is always thinking of boys' love between those two firebirds, most likely. Even I'm thinking it. Let me introduce you to. Bader, this is my good buddy Arthur. That ain't me. Got some interest in what we do here, so I figured I'd let him see us work at work firsthand. And this year is my senior and trainer. He's a bona fide firefighter, attending university for it and everything. I don't remember the scene. Does this happen off screen or is this imposter? Recess. Ugh, come on, Bader! Try to look a little enthused, will ya? At least make a good show of it for my friend. Ulam Bader recalls as he, and no one else remembers. His junior, Akia Gangen, as well as the other person present, no longer had this incident and he's a world representative. This was in a past loop, I see. In his memories. Damn it. I didn't think worst ever would come to worst. And sure not like this. The sights and smells are also familiar, and I hate them so much. It's the smell of a world burning, and the same eerie red glow that permeated all of Xanadu, Ulam Bader's homeworld, when it burned. Master Bader. Very catchy. There's not a single detail of the day he'll forget. He simply can't, no matter how much he may want to. Wait, he's not a world representative? That would have been revealed a long time ago. He's not part of the rule makers, he's not part of the other ones either. So he just has a pillar then. I came to Tokyo thinking I could take it easy and never have to work that hard again. But now look at what I gotta do. He looks like Johnny Test and Johnny Bravo bastard child. He had been made to work at age 4 when he looks like that guy from Megas XLR when he was tasked with fighting and defeating the great demon of calamity, Ganondorf, in the heavens. But the demon transmigrated down to Earth and began unleashing countless calamities upon the surface of Xanadu. Ulam Bader followed, transmigrating down to the surface himself upon a beam of light, where he continued to snuff out one disaster after another. To the end, he fought against the many calamity Ganondorfs that the demon had wrought, and when the fighting was finally ended, only one wish crossed his lips. Please, just let me sleep from now on. I don't want to be the hero who holds back the flames anymore. I swear, our world representative works way too hard. He's got to learn to stop and smell the roses from time to time. And if he does harbor a strong belief that opposes the first and second rankers in Xanadu's hierarchy. And even if his secret artifact does have an immensely reliable power that can remain steadfast even in the face of a calamity so great, it stands to upend the world. Yeah, he has an action figure body like buffed up Power Ranger. Well, he is a firefighter. Being a big shot... No, you're a big shot. World representative is just too much work. It's so much better just living without working at all. That's why Ulam Bader hid his true name after arriving in Tokyo. He was hoping he could live an easier, more anonymous life for a change. But, well, when a cutie pie junior can't hop into action, guess it's up to me to take the reins, huh? And since it seems this torrential rain poised to wash the world away has finally made its way to Taito World as well, the time to hop into action has most definitely come. And so, Ulam Bader plants his feet firmly on the ground and snatches his arm up to the heavens. Stretches it, rather. Come! My sacred artifact! We got calamities to subdue once more, for the first time in quite a while. In response to Ulam Bader's call, a rope descends from the heavens like a beam of light through the clouds. It stretches to the earth in a perfect line, not swaying at all in a storm, connecting the sky with the ground like a narrow pillar. Alright, then. It's dispatch time! Oh, my phone pinging. The sacred artifact rope holds the power to guide Ulam Bader to wherever there may be people in need of rescue, pointing straight and true to the very site of their distress. There exists a special variety of secret artifacts known as world pillars, which contain within the memories of world events. Okay. Okay, I understand why we mistook early on why world pillars and world representatives were one and the same, when they're really not. Strictly speaking, the most advantageous position world pillars can have across multiple loops or world representatives, as if they can actually remember those past loops, and that's why they end up all being pillars. Not because there's something about their artifact, but rather it's just because they're. If there is a choosing system, then they're the most likely to benefit to gain an advantage from the past loops. Notable exception being Michael. It's said that they may root in the nether or pierce the ether. They are pillars of faith that can withstand any and all catastrophes, calamities, and cataclysms. And even within this game in Tokyo, those who possess such artifacts are able to preserve their memories from one loop to the next. Most world representatives have them, and thus are able to fight with their memories of past loops intact. But the key word there is most. There are world representatives who do not bear a pillar, and there are transients who do not own one, but vehemently reject any sort of alliance. Who do own one, but vehemently reject any sort of alliance. Even if they're from the same world or share the same general beliefs as representatives. Perhaps all they wish for is to flaunt their independence. Michael is a world representative, as we know, but I had no idea that this seems to be implying both Shiva and what's his face? Green Wolf guy Temujin doesn't have a world pillar either. Temujin sort of makes sense. Doesn't seem like he explicitly refers to it, even if he's recounted the information. But Shiva, I honestly didn't expect him to not be a world pillar. But even if they share the same goals, they may not always be willing or able to cooperate with their player peers. Consequently, there are some world representatives who challenge their fellow players at a significant handicap, having no world pillar to fall back on like most of the others do. Generally, they borrow the power of guildmates' world pillars to make up for their own deficits, fight ever onwards through the loops. I'm not sure if these guys are world pillars, though. This border area between the west and south of Tokyo is considered a disputed zone between the warmongers and the invaders. And though the south wishes to advance to other areas, it's here where the west's fierce resistance holds them back.
Curse you, Tita and Marduk. 2 against 1 is a coward's play. Haruna, where are you? I could really use your help.
Temujin grunts in frustration, lamenting that he has to rely on another rather than being able to handle the situation himself. For real. But as a world representative without a world pillar, there's a limit to what Temujin can do within the bounds of a plan this complex. One crucial example being that he must avoid the rain that infiltrates one's mind, as he is very much susceptible to its memory washing effects. Right, I see. That's an interesting restriction he has. But it does make sense all the other pillars are resistant since they just have something stable to hold on to, not having memories forced upon them, but since they already have a bunch of memories to stay strong with. If only he were able to safeguard his own memories through a world pillar, he reasons, his entire encounter would be so much less strenuous.
You know, it wouldn't have killed him to lend me the power of his pillar.
There's a legend of a great hero from Temujin's homeworld of Xanadu with a secret past to rival his own.
Jessir Bogdo, that stingily son of our divine Tengri.
If only he'd entrusted me with Xanadu's world pillar. Oh, so it's not that he doesn't have his own by volition, but rather he just doesn't have one straight up. Yeah, and not because he didn't want one. So they may very well never have been spoken in Tokyo before, but back in Xanadu, he's the standard bearer of a massive faith. Is he saying that this Jessir Bogdo guy is Ulaanbaatar? And Temujin remains ever bitter, knowing that if the hero's cooperation could have just been secured, this whole operation would surely be going a lot smoother than it is. I'll become the supreme ruler of this world all by myself. I may have to use others to vault me up to the heights I desire at first, but in the end, I, Temujin, will have the last laugh. You won't be pierced by my arrows yet, Tina. Marduk?
See? I told you, didn't I? Even discounting all the fodder, we're thoroughly outmatched. That fourth guy alone has the strength of a whole brigade. And on top of that...
Well, seems you're hardier than I gave you credit for.
He's got that Perun guy backing him. That means this is 2 against overpowered 2. Which makes even retreating an ordeal.
This has been good fun. Well, what say we call it here, I have all that I used to be aiding after all. Temujin is the one who convinced me an alliance here in Tokyo might not be so bad. Oh, it makes my heart quiver to strategize with a friend I'd once held in the palm of my hand. Oh, such quaint foolishness. Keep them still for me, Werewolf Star. I want a nice firm shot so I can break them to pieces before we go. I'll reduce you to a couple feathers in my cap and be on my way. Static rewrite. What? Fragment of great walk on Tonka's power. Snow and earth. Come, be part of Bigfoot. Bigfoot, command. High footprints. Disguise presence. Abominable cover.
A thick powdery snow begins to fall, and both Kotaro and Tadatomo seems to fade from view behind the veil it creates, as if melting into the world around them.
Stop! Cease this force at once!
The snow obligingly stops, but the 3 figures that melted into it are no longer anywhere to be seen.
That was the same as the rule born by the representative from the world of the Great Spirit. Walk on Tonka. Guess it's too late to shatter them to pieces with my sacred artifact. I've been beaten to the punch.
One of the technical guidelines of the app battles that all participants must abide by states that no rules effects may be overridden by another power. We first learned this in Black Snow and the Hot Springs, or whatever it's called, where Horikyo Kami School could not actually be used to overcome Chernobyl simply because they were both rules of ice.
Well, no matter. This has just happenstance meeting after all. No sense crying over this outcome. Let's go, my werewolf Tsar. We must provide all the aid we can to our comrade-in-arms, Temujin. As you command, Lord Perrin, my emperor.
Every time we see Temujin, we see his ass getting up. It's kind of funny. Fatsaslav, werewolf Tsar of Kitez, once again pledges his undying loyalty and subservience to his unquestioned master and emperor, Lord Perrin.
Nobody follow us. Everything okay now, Kotaro and Tadatomo?
That's good news. What was all that about, Bigfoot? Did he sell us out to the invaders, and then subsequently saved us?
I'm wondering the same thing. What is your aim here? No sellout. Bigfoot, never do. Bigfoot, not traitor.
But you're a shaman who bears powers from Rakantanka, and he's a representative of the invaders, right?
Two beings, separate. Someone and someone else. Our same, but different heart. Wakantanka now, very different. Bigfoot not accept. Bigfoot never forgive. Wait, we have company.
Yeehaw! Been waiting for you, Bigfoot.
Yeah, their mythologies are more similar than Great Spirits. They're not actually part of Great Spirit in real life. Well, part of a show mythology and Native American. Both Babe Bunyan and Bigfoot, of course, are more tied to modern mythology within North America. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Bigfoot does have some Native American origins that I'm not sure of.
No need worry. This Babe Bunyan, friend, companion.
Seems like everything done went just the way our boss reckoned it'd go.
Oh, sure does sharpshoot, doesn't he?
Your boss? You're not referring to Wakantanka, are you?
You're pulling my leg, ain't ya? Ain't no way I'd call it like him, boss. That'd be hogwashed in half.
Is he talking about Tangara or is he talking about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot, can you please explain what's going on already? I'm not just on a different page, in a different book.
White Buffalo Calf. Temujin. If I wasn't sick, missing a pillar, sent to fight people I struggle with, and more, I wouldn't be getting my ass kicked. Yeah, he seems to have a lot of excuses. Between this and his memories in Ryota's story, also his appearance in the Warmonger's chapter, he's always there and he's just getting his butt whooped every time. It's funny.
Wolf Ward, you fought Volstaslav. He, same as Babe.
Oh? Is he saying that he was brought about by someone else's power to take the visage of someone else? To, retain some aspects of the original? Bigfoot explains to Katara and Tantum that transient known as Wolf is more than meets the eye. Oh, this is straight up just for Kiyokami? Or, fused with someone else, of course, but I thought it was just, some sort of hints of Kiyokami, not his actual individual. He was originally two separate individuals that got forcibly mixed together into a single vessel. On top of that, a sense of pure loyalty and devotion to the Katez world representative Perrin was blended in with both of them as well.
And I'm the same saddle myself. That Wakantanka done hornswoggled me, mixing some of the memories into my head. You know what that's like? Having some nuts memory banging around inside you? I sure ain't gonna stand for it. Ain't no circumstance or no plan gonna excuse a cow pie of a move like that. No, sirree.
Bigfoot, you said you had a favor to ask us, I believe. Could you perhaps have been referring to?
Bigfoot, tell everything. Everything about Wakantanka. Everything about World of Great Spirit. In exchange, you do favor. You do what Bigfoot ask. You let Bigfoot give foot job. Bigfoot ask. You bring end to Wakantanka.
Do you think Bigfoot wants his toe sucked? Sorry, that was an intrusive thought. I probably shouldn't have asked that. For someone that has foot in his name, it's not really an emphasis in his art anyway. And this is the kind of game that would emphasize feet. Yo, Irby, what's up? Did you leave a message? He did. I'll get back to you after. That's your contribution. I'm done the stream. Well, I'm done the story part. I'll read that message you sent briefly. Wait, so Wolf and Israel. Wait, did you say Israel? Do you mean Israel? Let me just see the next chapter's name. No Battle, End of Illusion, Part 1. And we'll go ahead and go to the guild screen. You'll remember that. Okay. Wait, so Wolf and Israel is using counterparts, actual body, not shadows with identical bodies. Yeah, it seems to be the case that both Israel and Wolf are doing that. But yeah. That is it for episode 5 of chapter 13. We learned a bit more about, well, not really quite, but more like we were given more guiding questions by Turing about the nature of our identity as it persists through loops. which is an interesting philosophically, but I don't know if there's actually a physical or, a tangible significance to it that will affect the progress of this game. Congrats on 5-star child demo. This message is not important. Oh, I'll read it in a second anyways. But yeah, Turing has pretty much just showed up. Would you be interested in learning about philosophical quandaries? That has been pretty much his entire existence for. It's kind of bizarre. We know he's working with Isaac, but he's barely touched upon that at all whatsoever. We have no sign of Lian and Chi and Guru, so this I'm gonna need to change this stream title again. And we've seen a different battlefront with regards to Katobopas, the creators, meeting up with Ulaanbaatar, and Ulaanbaatar seems to be heading somewhere to find Akia or something. I don't know. We're just getting a bunch of battles again. It's like in the middle of Warmongers where we see different battle scenes. I'm not sure what specifically this had accomplished, but it was nice to know more lore bits about the world pillars versus the world representatives, and how they are distinguished from each other, and why there may be some incongruence between the two. It does seem like Ulaanbaatar has a world pillar but is not a representative. Meanwhile, Temujin from the same world is the inverse, where he is a representative but has no world pillar. So I wonder if that's what he's referring to. I wonder, does Filth just exist in some loop and Horikyu just doesn't? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the reason why they can't coexist is because they have both the same role and rule, but I doubt that's the reason why. It seems they are just straight up fused together. We don't... It was implied Perrin was responsible for it, to have fused them together, but due to his rule, but I'm not entirely sure how things will work out. More explanation is in due order, but it's, we got a bit more today, and we'll get more in the future, hopefully. Turing is literally the nerd emoji, except the bad kind of nerd emoji. What's that even mean? The badder one? Like the bad slay or bad? I don't even know. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no worries. So that is it for the stream. Join me on Monday, so there will be a break this weekend, surprisingly. No discussion of any kind this weekend. The stream details for the tier list thing is still kind of fuzzy because a bunch of people are, not available right now for whatever reason. So that will actually probably be most likely pushed back into like 3 weeks at least from now. Not that it has any timeline because it's just a tier list, so it's not time sensitive or anything. But yeah, look forward to that eventually. We got some new evos, which is nice. We'll have more to talk about for our proper discussion stream, which should be before the end of this campaign. And just look forward to Monday. That's it. Okay. See you guys. I'll be covering episode 6 then. Peace out. Bye.